All right. So I eat 100% healthy foods and I don't have any sort of junk food or whatever. And I can completely afford it as a 17-year-old who works like a part time teenager job, right? Like I work as a lifeguard part time, and yet I can still afford to buy healthy food for myself. And basically, like 90% of the food that I eat is food that I buy and I prepare and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to make this video to tell you, to share with you that it is possible to eat healthy on a budget. It is possible to eat healthy in an inexpensive way. And that's just what I want to break down in this video because it's one of the most annoying limiting beliefs that people tell me, like, "Oh, eating healthy is expensive." It it's a really annoying belief because it's just not true. And I want to share with you how I do it so you can as well. Because if I can do it, 17-year-old doesn't really, like, I don't work a ton either. Like, I try and minimize the amount of hours that I work in a month. Yet I'm still able to afford this stuff. Yet I'm still able to eat 100% healthy. Like, if some proof that I eat healthy, I like, if I can do it, you can as well. Okay, regardless of whatever walk of life you're in, unless you are like if you're able to watch this, you're able to afford healthy food, basically. Anyways, I just want to say that the belief eating healthy is expensive. You need to cut that out of your brain right now because it's not. It's literally not. There are lots of ways that you can go about it, that you can, get food that is nutrient dense, that is healthy, that is going to make you live a happier, healthier life. And you can get those things in inexpensive ways compared to just getting the convenience food, just getting the fast food, the whatever. I think what a lot of people kind of think is maybe it's the convenience, maybe it's just because, price per pound can be relatively high. But the thing is whenever you buy more nutrient dense, healthy food, right? So, I mean, just whole food in general, like meat, eggs, maybe like fruits and vegetables or whatever, those can be more expensive per pound, but you need less of them because you are getting more nutrients per unit, right? So if you were to compare, like, let's just make this like a super basic example, comparing like two, let's just say they're the same thing, like two water bottles, right? Two water bottles, but one water bottle has all the nutrients you need to survive. It has a ton of calories. It has a ton of, like all the vitamins and minerals that you could possibly want. But it's, I don't know, like $3 per bottle. It's more expensive, right? Oh, it's really expensive, but you only need one per day. And if you compare that to the rest of them, right? Like there's some cheap water bottle, doesn't have anything, right? No minerals, no vitamins, no whatever, right? It has a little bit of like calories to it and some sugar in it, but it's $3 less expensive. Does like Just think about the value equation there. All the nutrients you need, or none of them, but it's $3 cheaper. Like like it should be pretty obvious. Just take the one that's a little bit more expensive, but it has everything you need. That's basically how it is between, like the processed unhealthy food that most people like. You probably know what I'm talking about, like the candy, the freaking, nutrient bars or whatever, like the freaking, like protein bars or some shit, right? Versus like whole foods, like meat and eggs and, maybe some freaking vegetables or whatever, right? And I get it, like eggs are expensive now, but meat isn't that expensive anyways. So it's just like there's way more nutrients in this, so you don't actually need to buy as much, is what I'm trying to get at in the first place. Like, you don't need to buy as much. Also, there are less expensive options, right? Like, I eat a lot of meat, okay? I eat a lot of red meat. But that doesn't mean that I buy ribeyes every single. I don't. I can't. I literally can't afford that, right? So you know what I get instead? I get the cheaper cuts of meat, whatever is available, right? Most of the time, that's like brisket, maybe that's ground beef, that can be some, like some people find certain cuts like undesirable, like the round of a cow, like it's basically like their leg part. Those are generally cheaper and stuff. Besides like getting like ribeye and like New York strip steaks, right? I don't get that stuff. I just get the cheaper cuts of beef that I want. And then along with that, I also just get cheaper meats like chicken and pork. It's so simple. And I used to get eggs, but not so much anymore because they're getting kind of expensive. But you can be adaptable. You can get the less expensive version of these things. Like they don't really change materially, like nutrient wise. Like the ribeye, like a ribeye steak versus ground beef is basically the same nutritionally, yet it's just a different texture, right? And it's less expensive. So just get that. It's just, like there's lots of ways that you can go around it in just like the whole food space. So that's another thing. Okay. It's just like eating healthy is expensive is just false. It's just simply false. You're just not like you're literally just not trying hard enough, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Because maybe it takes a little bit more time to prep. Maybe it takes, a little bit more time to, calculate out, oh, I need to get this amount of this or whatever. But I'm telling you, it is so worth it to eat healthy. Like, it is so worth it. And I want to touch on that in a different sense. It is so worth it to eat healthy for a multitude of reasons, not just monetarily. Okay, like I could yap on about my calculations of how I'm gonna afford this budget meat, or I'm gonna time this sale or whatever, right? To like save money, and you can do that to save money. Like I got a ton of ground beef from my local grocery store recently for like $4 a pound or whatever, because they were selling, like they had a sale for the Super Bowl, right? So I just got a ton of it. I was like, okay, we're good, and I was good for a while, right? And there's other strategies like that, like buy in bulk, buy at a sale, go to a butcher or whatever, go to a farmer and buy in bulk. There's lots of strategies like that. But I also just want to talk about the human cost of this. The human cost of eating healthy is so huge. And I've experienced that in my own life, and I'm sure you have as well. Whenever you eat bad food, your life is worse. I think you probably relate to this, is whenever you eat a bunch of sugary, garbage food, a bunch of candy, you feel sick afterwards. 99.99% of the time, you feel sick afterwards. Maybe you have a little bit of that mouth pleasure, and then you have the sugar high afterwards, and your life is like, you're like, oh wow, this is great, huh? And then whenever you're going home, you notice your stomach kind of hurts. Or maybe you just feel sick the next day, or you feel really tired constantly because your insulin is out of whack, and maybe you're like your blood sugar is just not regulated because you've been eating unhealthy food. That's like this that's like the story of my life up until I started making better choices with my food, and I started actually stop coping and being like, oh, it's too expensive, I'll just buy this like cheap candy or whatever. That's how I was living. My life sucked. It was just dreadful day by day. And that's the cost that nobody really talks about. And it's the cost that's rising. Because I just want you to think about this. If you eat unhealthy and you start deteriorating, you start gaining unwanted body fat, you start gaining weight, getting obese, overweight. That's how I was. I was eating too much like carbohydrates, too much sugar. And I started getting overweight, honestly. And I started feeling absolutely trashy. I don't think you can really put a price on that, because it's just your texture of existence is worse. How much would you pay to have better energy, better mental clarity? How much would you pay to have your health back, right? Like there's a mental thought experiment that you can kind of go through, where you can imagine you had like terminal cancer, right? Your health is at an all-time low. You're about to die, basically. How much would you pay if you had unlimited money? How much would you pay to get your health back, but you had to give up, X amount of money, like $1 trillion or whatever, how much would you pay? Like there's going to be some psychopath being like, no, I want to keep my money. Like, no, you're going to give up your money to get your health back, to get an extra, 50 years of your life back. You would pay that much because that's how much life is worth. But whenever you eat unhealthy, you're throwing that in the trash. You're throwing that away because, but it's cheaper. No, it's not. You're going to pay for that later in your health, in how you experience life, in your ability to just exist in the world. Like if you're fat, you're literally like demobilizing yourself. You're making yourself less mobile. If you're like a super obese guy, it's harder to walk. It's harder to move around. And your life experience is just worse. And you take years off your life. So it's not expensive to eat healthy. It's expensive to eat unhealthy, if you really think about it. So I hope that's kind of put that into your brain. I hope that's put that into perspective. Maybe you can relate that too. It's just, maybe that's what you're experiencing now. It's like your life experience isn't the best ever, right? That's okay, because you can make a choice now to change that and to start eating healthy, and it doesn't have to cost you anything. If anything, you're getting your life back. You're getting more back, even if you're paying a little bit more money from just like the monetary value of the food. But like I said before, like there's ways of going about it that's inexpensive. And if you stop eating in an unhealthy manner, you're going to be reducing the amount of money that you spend anyways, right? So if you just shift the amount of money that you're spending on unhealthy habits, maybe it's like drinking, maybe it's, like smoking or whatever, and you stop spending money on that and you just spend more money on the healthy thing, right? Overall, your total spend is the same, but yet your life experience is way better. So just think about that. Think about how you can shift what you're currently spending on, unhealthy habits and put it towards something that's healthy, right? Eating good, nutritious food. And you're pulling that money away from the garbage food. That's how I make this work, is I don't spend any money on garbage nonsense. I don't buy bad stuff. I don't buy candy. I don't buy cakes. I don't buy ice cream. I don't buy any of that shit because, one, it's not nutrient dense, so it's just a waste of money to spend it on. Two, it makes my life worse whenever I do eat it. So overall, I'm just paying for it later, even if it is cheap. And three, I'm going to be honest, I forgot. But I think those first 2 points are pretty compelling. So I'm able to just, I don't buy that stuff, so I'm able to spend more money on good, nutritious, healthy food. So I hope this video has somewhat convinced you that eating healthy is not expensive, that eating unhealthy is the thing that is going to be more expensive overall. And maybe I've inspired you to make changes in your life. I hope that's the case anyways. Eating healthy isn't easy, I'll be completely honest. And so that's why I'm building a course right now that you can check out in the description to start to eat healthy and build habits to get to just a healthier, happier version of you. And, just build it in a sustainable and simple way to achieve lasting results. So definitely check out the link in the description for that to see if you'd be interested. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you.